She couldn't have imagined how much she would miss Hong Kong when she returned to England. But she learned to live in her own secret world of pictures from her past. That afternoon, on her way home from school, the bus conductor had asked her if she was a Zap John. She hadn't understood what that meant, so she just smiled and gazed out of the window. When the bus reached the roundabout, she looked down at the turquoise blue swimming pool, iridescent in the sunshine. It was the LRC, the Ladies' Recreational Club swimming pool. Mei Ling told her the next day in the playground that what the bus driver had said was horrible and meant mongrel. Jaswinder was shocked. As neither her Indian mother nor English father spoke Cantonese, she never mentioned it to them. Around the same time, she had asked her mother to join the LRC, promising Mei Ling that they could go there every day during the holidays. When her mother told her that the LRC didn't allow Indian women to join, Jaswinder was once again shocked. Mei Ling said the LRC was stupid, and the following Sunday, she took Jaswinder to the Big Wave Bay. Seeing Su Fong Fong films at the cinema and going to Big Wave Bay were key in cementing their friendship. The Su Fong Fong roles they loved the best were when she was playing a daring, defiant woman warrior. After their time at the P school, they both went on to KG5. But it was in their second year that their friendship was really shaken. Jaswinder's father had been transferred back to England. They wrote to each other though, and called if they had special news like Jaswinder getting into Liverpool and Mei Ling getting a place at Hong Kong University. The summer before they were to start, Mei Ling wrote to Jaswinder asking her to come to Hong Kong for a holiday. As the Boat flight descended, Jaswinder's heart lifted as she saw the junks in the harbour, the neon lights flickering on the water, the Star Ferry, the multi-storey buildings stretching all the way up to the sky, and the shacks on the hillside. It was and it wasn't the Hong Kong she remembered. The Hong Kong of the 1960s, where she had learned to negotiate spaces and places, cultures and identities. But she was back to explore and wander down memory lane, and also to see if she could capture something of what she had left behind. Mei Ling was there at Kai Tak Airport. Though her long black hair had given way to a loose bob and Jaswinder's short hair had grown loose and wavy, they recognized each other immediately. Mei Ling suggested dim sum, and that was how Jaswinder's journey down memory lane began. Mei Ling's grandmother had bequeathed her one-child flat to Mei Ling, so she no longer lived with her parents. It meant that they could do just as they wanted. For the first week, Mei Ling took Jaswinder to all their old haunts, Tiger Balm Gardens, the Chinese communist shops, and swimming in Big Wave Bay. I wasn't sure, but your Cantonese is pretty good. And what about the orphan girl? What? That old Su Fong Fong film? Yes. Oh, let's go. The film lit up Jaswinder's mental archives with Su Fong Fong gliding over rooftops with sword fights in the sky. I think Su Fong Fong was instrumental in making me the feminist I am today. Jaswinder nodded. Yep, she was the perfect role model for young girls like us. Actually, it was more than that. What do you mean? Jazz, have you... Mei Ling no longer seemed relaxed. Have you ever thought... You know what, doesn't matter. I need to have a shower. Do you fancy going out later? Yeah, sure. Mei Ling came out of the shower dressed in a stylish light cotton fuchsia blouse and thin black trousers. All yours. Jaswinder put on her black silk jewelry blouse and her black silk sequined kurta and dupatta. She let her hair hang loose. Once out the door, they walked through Wan Chai Market, Jaswinder smiling, as the old familiar whiff of smelly tofu hit her nose. Mei Ling stopped outside a fading, dilapidated old 3-story building and banged on the wooden door. A woman opened it, smiled at Mei Ling, and they walked up a rickety staircase into a room that was dark except for candles, strobe lighting that kept flickering on and off, and a female singer standing on a small stage singing in Cantonese. They sat themselves down at a table, and when a waitress came along, Mei Ling looked across at Jaswinder. So, what do you fancy? Oh, San Miguel. 2 San Miguel, please, she said to the waitress. Jaswinder looked around the room, from one table to another, and at the people standing over at the bar. Mei Ling watched Jaswinder's reaction. So, what do you think? All women? Jaswinder tried not to sound shocked. Mei Ling nodded. Jaswinder's eyes cruised the room again, looking at the women, looking at them seating at the tables, standing at the bar, and near the stage. Above the stage were the Chinese characters of butterflies embroidered on a red and gold banner. There were 2 English-looking foreigners, Jaswinder was the only Indian, and the rest were Chinese. She just continued staring, taking it all in. It was the first time in her life that she had been in a bar that was only women. She was with Mei Ling though, so she felt safe. And when Stop in the Name of Love came on, Mei Ling decided and suggested that they dance. Jaswinder loved the Supremes and got up, and the 2 of them joined the others on the dance floor. The Western classics were punctuated with Chinese songs. Every now and again they rested, had another beer, and returned to the dance floor. Mei Ling nodded and stopped to chat with people that she knew, and before long it was 2 o'clock in the morning and Jaswinder was beginning to wane. You ready for bed? And totally beginning to plague. Mei Ling said their goodbyes and headed home. When they got back, Jaswinder began to pull out the sofa bed. Oh, you don't have to do that. No, it's okay, I'll sort it out. What I mean is, you don't have to. If you like, you can sleep in my bed. Jaswinder stood staring at Mei Ling. The other day, you were going to ask me something, and then you stopped. Yes, I was going to ask you if you were a Tong Sing Lun. Well, I'm not going to do what I did with that Dong. Do you remember? Yes. Some horrible bus driver called you that on the way home from school. You told me the next morning. Yes, I did. And you were great. Well, he was a pig. Older and wiser, perhaps, now? Jaswinder smiled. She took hold of Mei Ling's hand. It wasn't just Cantonese and English that they were discovering. This was another language that they had in common. For the rest of her holiday, Jaswinder's childhood was replaced by a Hong Kong that was teeming with passion. At Butterflies, Jaswinder became as a familiar face as Mei Ling's. Time was no longer a muddy situation in Jaswinder's memory. She didn't need to clutch hold of the past because the future was brimming with offerings. Thank you.